Scene script. Have you ever wondered about the unseen forces that shape the course of history? In the grand tapestry of time, there are threads woven by hands unseen, powers unfathomable, guiding the destiny of nations and kings. One such power, perhaps the most potent of them all, is the divine force that pulses through the pages of the Bible, specifically in the Book of 2 Kings. This ancient text, steeped in millennia of history, holds tales of faith, trials, triumphs, and the indomitable power of God. The Book of 2 Kings is a significant piece of biblical history, a mirror reflecting the ebb and flow of divine intervention in the affairs of men. It carries us through a tumultuous period in Israel's history, from the glorious reign of Solomon to the tragic fall of Jerusalem. It bears witness to the rise and fall of kings, the clash of empires, and the relentless pursuit of a people striving to hold on to their faith amid chaos. But what truly sets 2 Kings apart is its recurring theme of the unseen power of God at work. It is a power that whispers in the hearts of prophets, roars in the face of adversaries, and echoes through the halls of time. It is a power that bends the course of rivers, shatters the chains of slavery, and rewrites the destinies of nations. In the midst of national and international events, amid the clamor of war drums and the silent tears of captives, this unseen power never wavers. It remains steadfast, a beacon of hope in the darkest nights, a guiding hand in the foggiest morns. It is a testament to the enduring love and mercy of God, a reminder that even in our darkest hours, we are never alone. As we delve into the Book of 2 Kings, we are not merely reading a historical account but embarking on a journey to uncover the hidden hand of God, to trace the invisible threads of divine intervention, to witness the unseen power that has, does, and will continue to shape the course of history. Now let's journey through the pages of 2 Kings to uncover the hidden hand of God. Imagine receiving a double portion of someone else's spirit. Sounds impossible, right? Yet in the Book of 2 Kings we encounter Elisha, a simple plowman who asked for and received a double portion of Elijah's spirit. And with this double portion, Elisha performed miracles that were nothing short of extraordinary. Consider this. Elisha purified the poisoned waters of Jericho, made an iron axe head float, and even resurrected a boy from the dead. Each of these miracles, as astounding as they were, represented more than just an exhibition of divine power. They were a testament to the boundless, transformative power of faith. Elisha's life was a testament to the limitless power of God, a power that he wielded for the benefit of his people. His story reminds us that with faith and the right spirit, even ordinary individuals can perform extraordinary feats and make a profound impact on those around them. Can you imagine a city under siege, with food so scarce that people resort to unthinkable acts? This was the grim reality for the people of Samaria. Encircled by the relentless Arameans, the city found itself in the throes of a brutal siege. The once thriving city was brought to its knees, not by the sword but by an enemy much more insidious: famine. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the food stores dwindled. The markets fell silent, the fields lay barren, and the people were driven to the brink. The scarcity was so severe that the cost of the most basic food soared to unimaginable heights. Yet, amid the despair and desolation, a glimmer of hope persisted. The Israelites clung onto the promise of their prophets, a promise of deliverance that would break the siege, end the famine, and restore their fortunes. Even in the midst of despair, the promise of deliverance remained. What happens when a nation turns its back on its God? This question found its answer in the fall of Israel, a tragic episode that unfolded in the annals of history. Israel, once a prosperous nation bestowed with divine favor, experienced a devastating downfall at the hands of the Assyrians. But what led to this catastrophe? The answer lies in the disobedience of Israel. The nation, gradually drifting away from its divine path, indulged in idolatry and moral corruption. This was a stark deviation from the commandments that God had given them. The Assyrians, a formidable force of the ancient world, swept through the land, leaving nothing but ruin in their wake. Israel, stripped of its former glory, stood helpless, witnessing the repercussions of its disobedience. The fall of Israel was not a mere historical event, but a lesson etched in time. The fall of Israel was a stark reminder of the consequences of disobedience. How can one man's faith change the destiny of a nation? This question takes us to the reign of King Hezekiah, a period that marked a significant turning point in the history of Judah. Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, ascended to the throne of Judah when he was just 25 years old. Unlike his father who was known for his idolatrous practices, Hezekiah chose a different path. He was a king who deeply revered God and sought to bring his people back to the ways of their ancestors. In an era riddled with idolatry, Hezekiah's reign was a breath of fresh air. He implemented sweeping religious reforms aimed at purging the kingdom of Judah from the worship of foreign gods. High places, idols, and other symbols of pagan worship were torn down under his rule. He even took the audacious step of destroying the bronze serpent that Moses had made, as the people of Judah had started to burn incense to it. Hezekiah's reforms were not limited to religious practices. He also undertook significant infrastructural projects, the most famous of which was the construction of the Siloam Tunnel. This remarkable feat of engineering provided a secure water source for Jerusalem, even in times of siege. But Hezekiah's reign was not without challenges. He faced the threat of the mighty Assyrian Empire, which had already conquered the northern kingdom of Israel. Yet, Hezekiah stood firm in his faith, praying to God for deliverance. And in a miraculous turn of events, Jerusalem was spared from the Assyrian onslaught. Hezekiah's reign was a testament to the power of faith. His unwavering belief in God and his commitment to leading his people in righteousness brought about spiritual revival and physical prosperity. It is a poignant lesson for all of us that one person's faith can indeed alter the course of history. Hezekiah's reign showed that even in the midst of ruin, restoration is possible with faith. What happens when a nation refuses to learn from its past? This question is poignantly answered in the final chapters of the second book of Kings. Here, we see the once mighty kingdom of Judah fall to the Babylonians. But how did we get here? The downfall didn't happen overnight. It was the result of a steady decay in moral and spiritual values. The people of Judah had turned away from the teachings of their ancestors, choosing instead to live lives driven by greed and corruption. They ignored the warnings of the prophets who pleaded with them to return to the path of righteousness. The Babylonians, a formidable force, seized this opportunity, reducing the once prosperous kingdom of Judah to rubble. The temple was destroyed, the walls of Jerusalem were torn down, and the people were taken into captivity. The fall of Judah marked the end of an era, but not the end of God's plan. Can a nation rise from the ashes of its own ruin? This question forms the bedrock of the final chapters of 2 Kings. As the book draws to a close, we find a broken nation, a people in captivity, and a land laid to waste. Yet amidst the ruin, a promise of restoration echoes, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. In the aftermath of destruction, the book of 2 Kings points to a future where God's people will be restored. This promise, however, is not merely about rebuilding physical structures or regaining lost territories. It's about the restoration of a relationship, a reconnection between God and his people. It's about the heart of a nation turning back to its God, about people rekindling their faith, and about a society realigning with divine values. Now, this promise of restoration is not just for the people of that era, it's a timeless message, a divine assurance that resonates across centuries. It's a message for everyone who has ever experienced loss, everyone who has ever felt broken or beaten down. It's a message that reminds us that no matter how far we fall, no matter how bleak things seem, there is always a chance for a new beginning, for renewal and rebirth. But there's more. The promise of restoration in 2 Kings also points forward to a future hope, the coming of a Messiah. This Messiah would not just restore a nation, but would bring about a new covenant, a new relationship between God and humanity. This promise of a Messiah offers a glimpse of a future filled with hope, peace, and justice, a future where God's love reigns supreme. So, as we reflect on the narrative of 2 Kings, we see a story of downfall and devastation, yes, but also a story of hope and promise. We see a God who, even in the midst of judgment, does not abandon his people but promises to restore them, to bring them back to him, and to usher in a new era of peace and prosperity. Even in the darkest moments, the promise of restoration gave hope to a devastated nation.